Hello, welcome to Reframing Mindset Podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day.
Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constance Brooks, and so I talk about reference or references, because that's another important thing, you know, because coming up and coming out of poverty and whatnot, one of the thing was, doing a lot of things need, um, always I say you need your network is your net worth, and there's a lot of different ways of saying that. You know what? That's a clean way of saying it. That's the thing. One thing I realized, to really increase in your net worth or your move out of stuff references, you need good people who can actually be either character references or different uh, references for you to open doors that you need. Certain doors need more than one key to open. And there's a lot of stuff. For example, opening a bank account, applying for certain jobs or stuff like that, and all those stuff. References is one of those things they always ask for. Being this 95, what one of the things that I tried to do was be as competent and really good as possible so that I could actually building rapport, chemistry with the supervisor and stuff like that, so that I could actually have good character references that could push me forward. And they can actually help me in various ways. How. You never know how, but it's good to make as good a first expression, as good as impression as possible, so that you never know what important. Because what's the thing about a lot of things, and references, when you get older, it's one of those things you appreciate, or not appreciate, you understand why you need with a lot of negative bad ways, lot of criminal activities, all those stuff, you need ways to lock the gate to certain things, and references is one of those things. So if you grow up to be a bad reference, if you're not a credible reference, you as a person can't be a plug or be a person who can open any doors. You can be a person that open doors to bad places, like you be some criminal, work out a criminal underworld. But one thing you really think about that is that even if you're a king of some criminal underworld or anything like that, you're basically in the dark. You're basically in the dark or stuff like that. The one thing I realize in life is that you can really be in some dark places, or you can be in the light places. One thing I realized, the light is really better. So being a credible reference, a good reference in the overworld, in the overworld, that can really make you become a plug for a lot of people and open doors and stuff. And then what happened is that, one thing when I grew up, what happened was that, my I would rely more on my family and such, for character references and such. But now I'm going through my own path and pushing through. I build up some good references for myself through my own ability to be building good rapport and such. So that's one of the things that this episode kind of for, is to basically say, okay, you may not, you you may be younger than me now or such like that, but this is one of the things that will basically make you reach, um, give you a head start in life. Finding good character references or becoming a good character reference yourself. If you're able to do one of those two things, you basically be ahead of the game than I was and such, and you can basically make a lot of moves that I couldn't make at the start early, and then boom, you're making, so that's, that's no basically that's no thing you need to learn at a university or something like that. It's just that you just need to be a very person of great integrity. Just being a person of great integrity can just basically bring you far away. Yeah, being a person of integrity can just bring you a far away. Where they be like, okay, boom, once they say your name as a character reference, be like, okay, you you're opening that door for that person, basically changing your trajectory of life. That's the power of integrity. That's the power that you, by being in by building integrity, that's the power that you can basically bring. You can basically change a whole person's life by just referencing, being a character reference for them to go a different path. Could be a good or a dark path. That is the reason why in this world you have criminals and good people, all in the same world, because what you realize is as you grow older, you become either a good reference for the bad places or a good references for the good places. And you can always try to change that for the bad person, but yeah, that's the reality now. So I can't, when you listen to this, I can't tell, okay, you're going to be the one of the, you're going to navigate to try to be the good one. And so just that I'm telling you, no, the good side is the best side because that's, you know, that's my going through life. The bad way is really short and terrible. It's really short and terrible. We're trying to go long term here, long term, long term. So that's the reason why I'm saying me become a person of integrity can basically become make you a good character reference, and then when you become a good character reference, now you become a plug to good places, and basically can change life just by you, by using your name. That's the power. You become so incredible that boom, your name open doors. That's the goal. That's a goal, bro. That's a goal, so that's, oh my gosh, bro, that's cool. That's cool. So that's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening, and look forward for the next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Um, Also, doing the job, which practicing my communication and stuff, and then now able to actually do stuff in science as well. Moving to a part where you're actually doing science, but you're still doing somewhat practicing our communication. One thing I realized is that over time, and that was something I was thinking about, it's more relevant now, it where what I realized now going through this work and then going through the training process. One thing I was kind of reluctant to do when I just left university was try to go back to training school again to train for something else, like going to get a degree or a training some for become a teacher or stuff like that, and or doing another certificate course to actually become to get work in the science field. and such.